We're getting close to the end of the chapter Essentials in Geometry and some more foundational topics. 1.6 is about classifying polygons. I felt this one's easiest just if I sort of go through the vocabulary and concepts with you. So a figure that lies in a plane is called a plane figure. Remember, a plane is a two-dimensional surface, so to speak. A polygon is a closed plane figure with the following properties. Formed by three or more line segments called sides. Each side intersects exactly two sides. Each endpoint is a vertex. The difference between a convex and a concave, it's pretty easy to look at it. I sort of think of a concave as not having any little Pac-Man pieces, but technically it's convex if each line that contains a side does not crack the interior of the polygon. In this case, notice the line that contains this side intersects the interior, so that's concave. So that's pretty technical. What are some of the other things that might pop up? We have some special names. We're fairly familiar with this one. A three-sided polygon is a triangle, etc. Pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon, nonagon, and sometimes we just refer to the n-gon, how many sides we might be looking for them. Equilateral polygon, all sides are congruent. Remember, that is indicated by these little tick marks. Equiangular, all angles are congruent, again marked this way, and when it is equilateral and equiangular, we call it regular, which is almost funny because it seems special to me, but that's what regular means, and again, that term will come about often. Here's a case where opposite sides are congruent. Opposite sides are congruent, but not congruent to each other. One tick mark, two tick marks. Same thing with the angles. These opposite angles are congruent, and these opposite angles are congruent, but these are different. So there's some vocabulary. You'll have to do the worksheet, numbers 1 through 25 odd. It's pretty straightforward. Classify the polygon by the number of sides. You can do that. Here's some indicate whether it's equilateral, equiangular, or regular. Here's some problems that have to do with algebra. An example here is number 8. The sides of a regular triangle, means all sides are congruent, are 3x minus 5 and x plus 9. Find the length of a side. So all three sides are congruent, but we only have two, which is fine, and they're congruent, so I set their measures equal, do some algebra, add 5, subtract x, solve for x, but the question is find the length of a side, so I plug 7 back in, and I get 16, and for good measure, I plug it into the other side and get 16. That helps me check the fact that the sides are congruent. So each side length is 16 meters. Drawing, taking your time to draw. Always, sometimes, never questions. These are common in geometry. It has to do with logic. Some more algebra, essentially. Setting sides congruent. You might have to factor to do this one. Oh, no, because when you set them equal to each other, they just cancel. Same thing here. So the x squareds and the x cubes shouldn't bother you. And take special note of this diagram, which angles are congruent and which sides are congruent. That should do it. Check your answers as usual. And if you're having trouble, shoot me an email.